All right, this is Dan Max at EXPI Realty, aka the Trading Agent, and this is your live daily market recap for Wednesday actually, August 24th, 2022. Appreciate it. Sorry I had a little bit of glitch with the software. Had to restart. Looks like it's coming in line. Yes, we're good to go. Again, I apologize for that. Let's give it 2 seconds to let people pop in. It can be rather annoying how that works out, and then I'll start recording. Can I get a mic check? And then we'll get into it. Apologize about that. Computers, technology, stuff happens. Okay, in now. Cool. I'm going to start recording. This is Dan Max at eXp Realty, aka the Trading Agent. This is your daily market recap for Wednesday, August 24th, 2022. Hopefully you're having a great day. Again, if you are new to the channel, stop by the Discord room. Link is in the description below. I just want to apologize for the first version of this. Got kind of messed up, but let's get into it. If you're newer to trading, this is probably not the most ideal place, but there's tons of side room content. Check out all the channel has to offer. This is more of a channel built for folks who are been in trading but need to sharpen their edge. And when I say sharpen their edge, they need to work on being consistent, running this like a business, taking money out, living a life that they're determined to do by trading versus gambling. Because people who gamble, they ultimately end up in the same place. So if you're hanging out, do me a favor, leave, if you can. Sorry, I get distracted when I get text. Save your questions for the end. I'm going to do a lot, like a kind of just an open mic question form at the end. And then at this point, just stick to the tickers we're talking about so we can stay on point and get through this quick. Again, if you are newer and you want to check out more information, or you just want to tell me I'm an idiot, stop by Discord room. Link is in the description below. All right, Bitcoin. It is just hanging around, just flatlining. What have we said? It's got to hold. It's got to hold. It's got to hold, got to hold, got to hold. Okay? So at this point, now what? Please be careful. Don't believe in anything other than your stops. If it gets below 21, just 21,000 for the most part, it could get absolutely bludgeoned. All right? I don't really know what to say other than please don't assume anything. If you're being told to hold on forever and that the market's not tradable, not timeable, then guess what? You are playing the wrong game. This is a gambling casino game where your entries and exits matter, varying your bets matters, and those are the things that people just don't do well, hence why they always lose. Oh boy, here's the Nikkei talking about the past. Like, it could be absolute carnage long term, and if the market is in this death cycle, and when I say death cycle, I mean just kind of is what it is, meaning that it takes a long time sometimes to come out of a bear market, and sometimes it can be quick. Oil starting to take some XOP shorts, got some stock, got a few options. Not surprised, we bounced up into here. Again, when we get into USO, you'll see somewhere in these mid-90s is what I was thinking. Let's roll into the stocks. Again, I will get deeper into oil later. Stick around, I promise. I absolutely promise. The TLT, what have we said? Bond market's been leading. Look at the monthly. You're back into the support zone. Back down into the support zone. Now, here's the thing. Keep in mind. Remember the TLT in 2008? Let's always start on the monthly if you're really going to research a trade. What happened? Here was August of 2009, September. Or 8. Let me zoom this in. Remember, chop, 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 pop. And then bonds went ultimately much lower yields and popped. Because, again, recession. Nothing is safe. I've had this conversation daily, multiple times a day for what seems like months. Nothing is safe. Bond market, if it holds here, guess what? Now, I know everyone's talking about inflation, but keep in mind, when it comes to safety, think about the dollar. Same thing. So watch the TLT, 110, 111, 109, whatever, 108, somewhere in that range. Holding up the high. If you had to make a choice between yen, yuan, euro, anything out there, what? Be careful, the dollar. No, oil and uranium are going to get slammed, Scott. Jesus. No, nothing is going to be safe. This belief that there is a safety, no. People are going to run to the dollar, and they're probably going to run to bonds. Now, if we're wrong, Well, guess what? It's the 1 out of a billion time that we're wrong, because this is what has happened. I hate when people love to play the one-off probabilities, because guess what? You tend to lose. It's like going to the craps table and pretending that you play the snake eyes roll come out. Oh, if it hits just once, I'm going to win. No, oil isn't safe. Nothing's safe, y'all. Study the past. It's too funny, man. VIX. What have we talked about? Broke the trend line, keeps hitting the 200-day, and it's backing off. That's great. This is what you want to build. I told folks, I'm like, I hate the 4-day rise because then it gets super sloppy choppy. I want the chop and then the go, because now we can trade around our positions. Oil's not safe. Come on, man. Uranium safe. That's just silly to me. People just don't get it. Like, those uranium miners will absolutely get bludgeoned like everything else. Oh, but do you not hear about what's going on in the rest of the world? Yes, absolutely. So the VIX, just basing before it goes higher. Again, you're going to get this choppy action. And what is the scary time of the year? It's always what? September, October. September, October. Here you go. Here was August of 2008. And then it's just bing, right? Chapow. Here was July going into August. Pop in 2000, or that was 98. I mean, that was obviously the with Japan currency crisis, right? Here you go. Here it is going into the 2002. I mean, there's all sorts. There's going to be tons of spike. Keep in mind, the VIX is hard to compare to the 1990s and 2000s because why? The volatility was in the Qs, and there was no VIX in then. That's where all the volatility was. Keep in mind, that's like the QQQs was like the meme stocks ETF, ape fund. So what are we talking about? It's just basing, making higher highs, higher lows. At some point, there will be the super spike. How big, how high, how much, doesn't matter. Just be prepared. But please don't bury yourself by owning uranium or owning gold or whatever and thinking like, oh, if the liquidity comes, it's not going to sell. It sells every time, and I say this every video. Why? Redemptions, hedge funds, institutions selling, margin calls. They throw the baby out with the bathwater. Now, I'm not saying these things can't hold up better, but they're not going to be safe. It's the same conversation every day. And again, if you don't know the answer to this and you ask this question, it's because you haven't done your homework. Go check out oil in 2008. Absolutely bludgeoned. I said this a million times. OPEC is a band of thieves. They will lie. They have to produce oil. Especially when this, it hits the fan. Because guess what? They got to feed their people. They're not going to sit there and under pump. Never. It's like Vanderpump. They're going to pump, pump, pump. Pump it. SPY. We talked about it. It's done. It's just professional gap. And the key is, how much of a pop do we get? Do we get a little pop, or is it just done? This is it. Because this is the hardest part. Wave 3. This isn't, we talk about the psychology. This is what people think. It's just a pullback. It's just a 20% correction. Crap, it's a recession and the market's turning into a bear market. And that's where it gets sloppy. And when I say sloppy, I mean like sloppy Joe kind of thing, like Adam Sandler. Like, watch out. People are going to absolutely get destroyed. And people go, how do you know the market's at the bottom? I hate to say this, and it's not PC, but when people are literally jumping off roofs, people are they've lost their life savings. Now, again, I don't think we're there yet. Would you not agree? But I'm pretty sure the meme stock folks are definitely going to have that kind of pain, which is just sad to see because they don't realize the past. Like, people are literally, our lives are destroyed, and there's no choice other than to what? Give up. And then at the lows, people hate stocks. They absolutely hate stocks. They're like, I'm never trading them again. Same thing at gold. Same thing with Bitcoin. Same thing with probably uranium. Same thing with everything. There's going to be no hope. Because that hope is what has to get wiped out. Because again, it's instilled through a bull market to be removed during a bear market. People don't realize that. QQQ, do you get a little pop like that or do you get the chop? At this point, you got the Feds, you got Jackson Hole Fed meeting, you got GDP tomorrow, you got all sorts of stuff coming. Just let it breathe. People are so anxious. Gotta move. And it's like, man, if you short it up here, let it breathe. You're under the 20-day. Now, again, people are like, oh, do you know it's a bear market? Well, first of all, the straight line moves precede the done. I mean, that's the cues from the past. That precedes the end. Then once we got under the 20-month, the 20-month has been support all the way. We're under it. Clearly, here's the point of control in the 320s, almost 330s. Goodbye. Not it's a goodbye. Bye. It's game over. I just don't know what sparks that. That's the hardest part. People are waiting for the why. Well, usually the why is a little too late. That's the problem. It's always a little late. And again, the Y could start what? A panic implosion. It's just like in 2000s where everyone's like, oh, the housing market's fine. It's fine. It's great. Everything's great. Kapow, overnight. What? MBS blows out. Housing stocks start getting murdered. Banks start, are leveraged 20-1. And all it takes is a 5% loss in their book to blow out. Oops. Dominoes move quick. Remember. And that was 2000s. You don't think the dominoes move quicker now? Oh, so what now? What, QQQ? Chill. I mean, if you're in, you just got to be patient. Think about Livermore. Wait. The big money's in waiting. If you're shorting at the highs, you got to wait. It's going to take time. That's why I tell people, like, if you got your September, October, November, December, whatever, just trade around your core. Oh, it's all or nothing all the time. It's like, all right, well, I would consider yourself, you should be pretty strongly aggressive short here because now the first drop, you probably should take some off and trade around it. IWM, we say it leads, hits the 200-day, back off. Professional gap. Remember professional gaps? Like you're going to see them everywhere, and it's under the 20-day. Love to see it try to, like, fill the gap. Ooh. Because, again, I don't think you really can, but, like, it's this gap. Could it come back and just pop real quick and then we'll see. We don't know. Just please be safe. Let's talk about gold. And, again, people who are following me are like, this is so annoying. Every time you show us the evidence, it's so obvious gold doesn't bottom. If the market is a volume-seeking, what do you call it, creature? Sorry, my brain is just scrambled. What typically happens, right? The market makers need liquidity. Look to the left. Were they selling here? If you can't see yes, say yes. I'm sorry. I don't know what to tell you. Yes. Now, where is the market shakeout? I don't see it. I don't see them all of a sudden panic, end of the road. No. Look at the month. I mean, again, I say this all the time. Gold is the king of double bottoms, double tops. Double, 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 double. Double top. Coming back to the highs. Double top. Every day. Double top. Leave it alone. There's no liquidity here in this. Now, we've said we know what's going on. I'm not like I'm long-term bearish. It's very clear. What? It's a big cup and handle. Copa. Tasso. 0.382. Always remember this. 0.382 is the max downside on a cup and handle. Well, what happens if the market panics? This is what I'm hoping for. And again, not hope. It's just based on recurring evidence of what? When the baby gets thrown out with the bathwater kind of thing. Puke everything up. And then we'll go slightly lower. It'll be a long wick, maybe. Or it might be just a short wick. Baby, you know what? Wick. Little baby wick. Has to get circumcised. I don't know. I mean, whatever. That's the kind of thinking I'm looking at. And I'm just not going to get involved. And people are going to say, well, you're just missing out. You're an idiot. And it's like, no, I'm playing the probabilities, folks. If you can't look at the market through a probability lens, if you're trying to get rich doing the one-off things, you're more likely going to go broke. That's what usually happens. Now, all these people leverage it into gold, silver, uranium, all of this stuff. They're going to be over-leveraged. The market's going to tank on them. They're going to have to be selling at the lows, and then boom. All of us are sitting there like, again, Birdman in that meme, when he's like rubbing his hands up against the mirror, like, yeah. Like, that's what I'm waiting for. Silver, same thing. Purgatory. The only time to buy is when the Fed is pivoting. Zing! Zing! Not now. They have not pivoted. Anyone pretending they've pivoted? Just go home. Take your ball with you. I don't care. GDX, monthly again. Leave it alone. I want to get through all these. Leave it alone. Oh, it's a double bottom. It's making a higher low. Maybe. Probably not. What is anything safe? No. Why would the GDX be safe? Do you see some sort of explosion in volume? Here was the unwind at the highs and then made a higher low to fail. Well, where is even the start? Right, maybe right here? Well, we're making a lower low at some point. Again, I don't know how to explain this to folks, but you know what? They want to see what they want to see. That's the hardest part about trading. If you don't realize that, you are the problem. The market's going to do what it's going to do. It's just, do you want to do what the market's doing or do you want to do what you're doing? People who tend to win do what? They do what the market's doing. People who tend to lose do what? Do what they want to do. I don't really have an opinion other than what? Do what the market is doing. If you can't do that, Stop trading. Have this debate all day. All day. People, oh, I don't know, I'm thinking this. I'm like, stop thinking and just try to do what the market's doing. GDXJ, this is going to be the one to buy, right? We talked about it. Popping up to the May highs, great. Awesome. Awesome sauce. Cool. All right. Backing off. Sorry, I just got to update after hours. CRM down 5.8%. NVIDIA down 2.4%. Zuo down 6%. Spelunk down. Autodesk is up. Some few things up. AG. Oh, Dan, you missed it. Again, tell me every day how much I've missed these trades, because guess what? I'll know when it bottomed is I won't get a reminder. I won't get a reminder. I honestly love when people troll me because it gives me all the evidence I need to know what the dumb money's thinking. And if that's you in this video, I apologize, but keep it coming. Love it. Absolutely love it. Probably coming back to the trend line. AEM, what have we said? This is the one. This is the Neo, right? This is the Neo. It's got the volume at the lows. Holding up much better than the other ones. But guess what? At some point, it will get flushed. Oh, but then it's going higher. Guess what? If it does, I don't care. Because if this is the start of the gold bull market, are we really that late? It's literally, if this was equated to a baseball game, this is like the first pitch. Oh, you missed the game. No, I don't think it's going to run without us. But whatever. Pass. Pass on it. Again, it couldn't get any love. It's blowing out a little lower. Whatever. Newmont, please leave this alone. Don't even ask me about it other than, hey, it's holding up, so the rest of the market. We talked about this. Probably holds this trend line, but it probably blows out of like this one. It had a nice little trend line here in 2008. Where do you want to consider? Like right here? Yeah. And then it went goodbye. Goodbye. Now here you go. Goodbye. Leave it alone. All right, let's get into materials names because this is another one where I get the reminders. You're an idiot. Okay, whatever, man. I'm the one who bought this in 8. Like, for example, if you're on the Discord room, we bought this down here, wrote it up to here, talked about you could buy it here, leave it alone. Just leave it alone. Oh, it's trading at a 1 PE. Don't care. Guess what? Your favorite tech stock might be trading at 1 PE too at some point. Watch what happens. I mean, again, we don't know anything for certain. And people are going to keep arguing it's an election year. All sorts of craziness. I don't know. Other than what? I know we're going into a monster recession. Because inflation always starts it. Don't you guys realize that? Inflation is not good. Now, again, the markets can go up later and it can, like, absorb inflation. But the first drop is painful. Painful, painful, painful. Now what? Backed off the 200-day. Oh, what do you think? Don't care. Don't care. I mean, again, I don't want to fight it. Holding up, talked about potential blowout candle, the hammer. Does it retest? I don't know. Leave it alone. Let's get into CCJ because this is what makes me laugh. Is the uranium folks are just so blinded by the past. I mean, because what they've been holding forever, they always assume today's the day. Today's the day. No, it's not. Cool. I like to see, you know, again, I'm happy for them, but ultimately I'm going to see, again, talk to me when it's at 16 or 18. But Dan, you see the news? Yeah. I see all the news. I know. Japan's going to be doing it. They all need to get on nuclear power. No one's arguing that. No one's arguing that. But the miners, when in the drillers, whatever you want to call it, explorers, have to deal with a credit crunch, liquidity crisis, people just selling. Because, again, it's the people who are buying up at this price are going to be screaming at 18 and 16. And they're going to be like, bleh. Puke. How much higher could it go? 28 maybe? I don't know. I mean, I have on paper a short on it. Again, I'm not going to short it just to short it. But this is the problem. People don't realize. So, even in 2008. Meh. But this is what I try to explain to people. Like, this is the process coming off a bottom in the 2000s. Like, you had this... It's so hard to see because it was a baby. Even in the 2000s, it popped and it pulled back. Then it went on its run. Well, we're in that consolidation phase. Do y'all realize that? Like, we're just in this choppy, sloppy phase. I could be wrong, but if the history repeats, you're going to see it down here at some point. And if I'm wrong, well, guess what? That won't be the first time, but you're not fighting probabilities. Like, I hate trying to explain to people. Like, you don't even know the odds. It's like going to a casino and just dumping money on any sports bet. And it's like, well, they're all 50-50. No, they're not. Actually, if you do your homework, they're not. All trades, individual trades, everything is different. Now, again, I'm not shorting, but Snarky did. I don't blame him. Because what happens? Every time you get the big green candle, what follows? Burnt. Pop and burnt. Pop, burnt. Pop, chop, Again, I mean, the sound effects are just funny, but that's the problem here. And people just don't, they ignore the signs. The uranium folks think that they can't lose, and guess what? That's not how you bottom. Please put that in your notes. At tops, bulls can't lose. At bottoms, what? Bears can't lose. Like, we're not even close to like the bears being in control. And that's probably not even the best analogy. Remember, we're talking about like at the bottom, no one's gonna want it. Not even Susan, who just endlessly cries in the beginner room every day. I sold my uranium. I don't know what to do now. And it's like, go fishing. Leave it alone. VALE, same thing, just nowhere. Probably getting back into the 11s. Scott Special down here when it did the double dance. It's probably going to fill these gaps. Euro, Aero, whatever. Not Euro. Gyro. Getting hungry. Here you go. You got volume at the lows. Probably going to come back into the 8s. Got it? Good. All right. Talked about ag names. Uh-oh. Went higher. Oops. Said it might fail at the 100-day. Guess what? Little higher. Again, I've said this 100 times. I think there's going to be issues with food at some point. But do you think these stocks, I mean, this is the problem when the prices of whatever, the chemicals, the phosphates, the urea, the fertilizers, when they get really expensive, guess what? People can't pay for them. It's demand destruction. The same thing that happens in oil. People will find alternatives. Maybe they'll start using human poop and diapers, recyclable diapers, and maybe they'll use lint from their lint roll. I have no clue what they'll use for fertilizer, but I'm hearing about it. Farmers just can't afford it. So maybe it'll just be less crops. It's just an ugly circle. We all know this is bad. All right, how much further? I don't know. There's a point of control right here around the 0.382. CF, put this on your radar. This is a much better trade. Let's call it what it is. Let us call it what it is. We talked about stopping power. Now you're back at the highs. Heck yeah, like that mosaic, not back at the highs. CF back at the highs. See, this is how you try to find the strongest and best names. At this point, please don't chase. If it breaks out, someone's going to hit me up and go, well, I wanted to chase it. And I'm going to say, you know what? Good luck with that, because this is the biggest problem. You're back near the channel highs on the monthly. I wonder what's going to happen near term. Is this a breakout? It could be. Absolutely. But it's hard. Do you see how the odds here say, well, if you hold on to this stuff and you expect it to go higher and the market gets burned, what happened previously? Look to the left. April, May, and June happened. Did CF drop? That's all you have to ask yourself. Whoa. Hold on. I'm just looking at the now and it's going high. Okay. Okie dokie. AMD. Talked about it. Goldman, Buddy Pass, everybody upgraded at the highs. Now you're making lower lows, and it's just sitting here. I say this every video, and I'm going to say it for people's own health. When the chip companies become literally a commodity, you got to be careful. You got to be careful because they all make great chips, and then they undercut each other in prices. And now government is subsidizing Intel to just flood the market with chips at some point. Oh, it's going to be so ugly. You're under the 20-month. AMD, you're not going to be immune. Unless you get bought out, which I am assuming it probably won't. But again, even if it does, think about a company. AMD's nuts. Oh, man. That was one of my nicknames back in the day. Yeah, it's probably done. I mean, I hope this makes sense. Because, I mean, I think people don't realize, like, we identified the top. How did you do that? If it's called shampoo time. No, you had an uptrend. Talked about the right shoulder, bam. And like Chef Emerald, bam. Game over. And, you know, it just is what it is. And people are going to argue that it's fundamentals and fundamentals and fundamentals and fundamentals, and it's trading at a cheap PE. Go look at letter X. Look at PBR. Look at VALE. That's cheap. Not 20 times earnings. It's not cheap. Would you pay 20 times the rental? Like, say you had a property. Would you pay 20 times the cash flow for it? I don't think I would. I need 20 cycles to get back to even. No. You trade at discounts in bear markets. People don't realize that. You don't trade at premiums. It's just, I don't know, man. People pretend to see what they want to see. All right. One of the better trades of the year. All the friends and family. Remember we talked about this. Buying it down here on the McConnell tweet that, oh, we're not interested. Well, guess what? Actually responding to Pelosi publicly was what? That was the first offer. They weren't even talking publicly. And then it was like, oh, they posted that tweet, and there it was. All of a sudden, Congress got all their shares because they know the game. We know that what they're doing. Gap up, nice trade. Talked about taking profit up here. Went even higher. Talked about get up here. Now what? If you're not short, I don't know what you're doing. And again, NVIDIA after hours. Let's pull up the NVID. The NVID. Oops. Down 2.5%. Yep. Not helping. Not going to help you. Not going to help at this point. Semiconductors. If you are bullish long term, explain to me how they're going to do when pricing power goes out in the toilet, because what? Input costs go through the roof. That's the problem with tech bull markets that are followed by commodity bull markets. Nobody has any pricing power, especially in tech, especially if you have any sort of hardware. You have no pricing power. All of a sudden, what? Your margins are paper thin. Paper thin. And they're trading at dozens of times earnings? No. Leave it. Stop it. Stop it. Apple, we talked about this. If you got up here, people remember crazy, like, you're shorting up here. I'm like, yeah, novice gap, game over. Oh, we hit and filled the novice gap. And then your professional gap down is holding 28. Oh, it's so bullish. I'm like, what chart are you guys looking at? What chart are y'all looking at? No, channel high, game over. No, if it bounces, it's wrong. No. Layer in, layer out. Manage the position. I want to see something real quick because I was like, man, I remember it right before the close. It was like up $1, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, flat. Up. Well, there you go. There you go. Somebody was selling. Do y'all see this in the close? Times where it got bought, now it's getting sold. Remember, it's summer. They're going to sneak out. It's like playing hooky. If you're bullish Apple, long term, I genuinely wish you luck. Because you don't know the past. Leadership changes. Apple is what? A hardware company. Do you think their inputs are going to be affected by inflation? Yeah. Excuse my fake cough. Microsoft talked about shorting up here, got stopped out, and then got back in. Now what? Took a little off because I had a actually double-sized position once I re-entered up at the 200-day. Not surprised it's chopping. Again, they suck with the dollar. They hate higher dollar. Well, did we not see the dollar was back at the highs? I mean, did we not see it? Dollar was back at the highs. At some point, trend. Now, again, if you want to look at the long-term chart, you go, oh, good God. That is, and again, every time I look at this chart, I feel like I need to put on a parachute to look at it because I feel like it's about to just drop. And if I'm get caught in this whoosh, people don't remember the past. Remember, Microsoft was a hot stock in the 1990s. Like this little program called Excel, Word, PowerPoint. They were awesome. Now it's a subscription-based business. But then it went nowhere. And honestly, if you ever remember trading, like, if you remember Microsoft during the 2000s at all, like, it literally was the biggest joke. I mean, who was it? Steve Ballmer, I remember, was the CEO. Like, they would always be like, you can't buy Microsoft. It's crap. Well, look at that now. Do you not think this is dangerous? Probably not. People are like, oh, it looks okay. I'm like, wow. I'm, like, scared. Like, hold on, let me take some oxygen, like, from the plane. It falls down. All right. Better. Meta. Holding the monthly channel. Here you go. Here's the backside of the mountain. Mount Meta. Better hold that 155 area. I'm pretty sure they're getting sued again. But when it didn't matter, it popped. We'll see what happens. All these stocks. Tesla. Oh, man, I know some people took this and got paid today. What did we say? Now, again, I talked directly to a few people. I said, watch what happens when it fills the gap up near 910. Bongos. Bango, bongo. Fail. Remember what happened the last couple splits? Tankerton. If that's a show. Tankerton. I know, like, there's all sorts of, what do they call it? Thumperton? I don't know. Whatever. There's that stupid show on Netflix. Tankerton, bye-bye. And a hammer right before the split. I think the split's tomorrow, correct if I'm wrong. If it pops on the split, great. Don't chase it. You had to be in at 910, filled the gap. No gap left behind. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, you're at this point where this is what's funny is if you go look at all of the tech stocks, what do they look like? They don't look good. Holding at the 50 days. Google look that good? No. Like you hit the channel high, went above it. That's a bull trap. What happens? Professional gap, game over. Amazon. I'm just going to run through these real quick because people are like, oh, well, you look at Amazon and all this. I'm like, they all look the same. Microsoft, Apple, right? Oh, hits the 200-day, gaps down. I mean, this looks just like Microsoft. Goodbye. And I mean, not a goodbye. Where's Mr. Netflix? I know I have you somewhere. Did I pass it? I'll just pull it up. All look the same. Do you guys realize, like, that's how you know the market? Like, think about Livermore. If everything looks the same, there's no one off here. Hits, tests, like, into the gap, comes back under the 20-day. Are we confirmed that tech doesn't look good? Do I need to, like, do I need to convince somebody? Like, is it not obvious? Like, we talked about, what's the best short? Tech. Tech. PayPal was a leader. Like, was, and is in the past. Not even close. Roblox, talked about it. Getting up into the 50s. Is this bullish? Let's pull up your PayPal. Let's pull up PayPal. Dead money. Yeah. People buying it. Great. This is what's going to happen to Tesla at some point. This is what's going to happen to Microsoft. That happens to them all. Yawn. And now you want to trade it down here and it goes nowhere. Now again, if you can trade it from these ranges, great. But at this point, pass. Absolutely leave this crap alone. If you're buying it. Maybe if you're shorting, I don't know. That chart is so ugly. Climb that mountain, get to the top, and there's no oxygen up here, and you fall. Or it's like, what's that Greek mythology, the story? The kid flies up near the sun, wax melts, and what? Feathers fall off, he dies. Falls in the ocean. That's what happens every time. NDAQ. Well, someone's like, no, there's some volume this morning. You see it? I'm like, it's at the 20-day. It's at the old point of control. Is it going to bounce? I mean, same thing with when we get into XBI here. Could it bounce? Yeah. Well, what do? You should be adding. That's how I look at it. Now, how much higher? I don't know. They got the split here in 2 days. Goodbye. Yeah, Icarus, right? Was it Icarus who flew too close to the sun? I always think of Kid Icarus, the video game. But he didn't. No, I don't know. Point being, here we go. Little bounce. Whatever. Leave it. Okay? Like, just wait. It's probably a short, right? We do not agree. It's really that simple. Let's do EXPI, and then we'll get into the financials, and then we'll get into the free questions. You can pick my brain or make fun of me. I really don't care. EXPI, again, here's the fundamentals. Here are the fundamentals. Climb that mountain. Climb. Blow off. Goodbye. Remember, the blow off is the top. Just like flip this chart upside down. It looked the same as the bottom. Now what? People are going to tell me, Dan, you've owned this. You can't talk about it. I'm like, no, I talk about it very clearly. Like, it's trash. The stock is crapped out. We're third largest real estate company in the world now. Probably not going to get bought out. Good luck. Now, again, will we get a multiple premium? Probably at some point when housing goes up. And then what? Probably will also go up. Commissions. We'll see. I mean, investing in your own stock. No, people are like, oh, I'm going to get rich owning my stock. It's like, I don't know. Maybe not. So just call options. UTHR, then we'll get into EXPI. Because this one, or XBI, a lot of people are just talking about it. I'm like, do you not see this? Here you go. Head and Shoulders top. I've said this a million times. If you own this name and you haven't taken profits, shame. XBI. Where'd it close? 89.63. We talked about the point of control. And again, this is where I feel like people who hang out but don't watch the videos or don't ask questions, it was very obvious. Point of control in 85s. Did it fill the gap? Nah, I guess technically it didn't. What? And it bounced. Well, now what? It's the 200-day. I mean, people are like, oh, I don't trade moving averages. I'm like, well, they're not perfect, but they also don't hurt. Hold on, let me zoom in a little more. So what's the next point of control? Like, somewhere around what? Here. Right? You're there. Could it retest? Of course. Nothing's perfect. But if you are looking to add to your position, again, I can't recommend anything because I want you to own your choices and your decisions. I think you got a spot. You got the spot, okay? 200-day, your reference. If you have to, stop out, goes back to 95. If it comes to 95 and the market's still looking weak, Hadouken! Yeah, you send the fireball at that thing and you short the bejesus out of it. Yep, we'll get into the financials real quick before we get into oil stuff. Where's Mr. Stanley? Hey, Mr. Stanley. Holding a 20-day. We talked about the point of control. Who else shorted up here? Me. Got some puts too. Me. Remember when we bought it down here? Who remembers that? Ben, you around? Man, we murdered that. Bought the calls and went. Now up at the point of control. Good night. JP Morgan. No buyback. Not good. Canceling the buyback. Gets up to 100-day. Look at this thing. It looks like crap. I just want to show people XLF real quick because this is the basket of all these names. And you're like, why are you shorting it? Do you see how the charts draw themselves? Now, again, if you expect the first day it hits game over, this is the problem. People don't layer in. They're not evidence-based, and they don't know how to use stops. They go, oh, it hit the spot, game over. Well, then it rallies for 5 days, and they're like, I'm done with it. And then it gaps down, and they're like, crap. Crapperton. Bridgerton, that was the show. Remember, wife made me watch that thing. Crap. Look, it just holding old support. Do y'all see this? Like, it's not rocket science. And then it hit up to the 20-month. I mean, I struggle with folks who just don't zoom out. If you have what I call tunnel vision, you don't see the bigger picture. You're playing checkers, and the market makers are playing chess, and they start on the monthly. And I don't know what you're doing in between, but you are just going to beat yourself stupid trading dumb. Oh, swing trading's hard. Well, it's like, well, yeah, because you're looking at the daily. You're looking at the hourly to try to swing trade. Stupid. Emotional damage. Emotional damage. USO. Here we go. Let's get into oil, and then we'll free everything up. We're back into some good spots. We're into some good spots, folks. Oops, sorry. Someone's hitting me up. Again, we're over the point of control, like this little short-term one. Not surprised. I mean, we have... What have I said? 77, 78, maybe even 80. I don't know. But do you want to short early? No. People go, oh, it's a professional gap. And it's like, no. No. Probably not. However, I will say this. I am going to hit stops in my XOP short. But this is the thing. Let's talk about safety for 2 seconds. If you consider this safe, you tell me, is that safe? Because that was one of the best trades of my life, was shorting oil in 2008. Because again, demand destruction, inflation. I mean, the prices are at 160 a barrel, 150, whatever it was. You and I, did wages go up? I know they're really trying to give away free money in the government, but did wages go up? I don't remember that. I don't see wages going up. Oops. Demand destruction. Now remember, this ETF is crap. People are like, oh, I've been holding oil for 20 years. You hold the USO? Sorry, dry heave. Apologize for that. That's probably sounded gross. Now what? Here you go. I mean, just it's in the chop zone. It's at the top of it. I mean, maybe you can see it better. Let me change it to the 120. Yeah. Here you go. Here you go. There's your supply-demand zone. I would consider this an anomaly, wouldn't you? Oil. Again, if it goes higher, stop out. But look at UNG. I showed people this yesterday, and they're like, nah, I don't know about short in the XOP. I'm like, holy crap. Look at this outside. Like, novice gap, doji, engulfing bar. But today was a doji. What? Dan. XOP, I wouldn't short oil and gas. Again, what did I say about Occidental Petroleum? Buffett is the king of covered calls. He's sitting here going, oh, you guys want to buy calls on Oxy? Good. You guys get on in. Come on, here, have as many as you want. You want 3? 4? Whatever. I'll sell them for $1. Doesn't care. XOP, we talked about filling the gap. Long wick, inside day, no volume. We'll see what happens. Maybe it tests this backside of the trend line. I don't know. But this is where if you layer in and you stop out, great. But if you go all in the first day, I feel bad for you. I just genuinely feel bad because you're just not doing it right. ExxonMobil. Talked about, oh, if you could get up near 100. Whoa, oh, Nelly. It's like Keith Jackson, college football. Oh, Nelly. You fill that gap? Call me. Call me. Text me, whatever. I don't care. Look at that. And maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, we thought it was going to get it there, but it didn't. We're so close. XLE, I'll end it there and we'll roll on out. And I'll stop recording and then you guys can totally trash me. I appreciate you sticking around. Yeah, we did hit 10,000 subscribers today on YouTube. YouTube, if you're listening, I appreciate it. Giving me the opportunity to speak here. This is hard. I don't know. Somewhere in this range. I mean, you got... Here, let me try to drag it out. You got... No, that's not what I want to do. Too fast. Freddy Fast Fingers. I mean, could you say it like all the way back to here? Yeah, you could. All right. That's oil. Again, stick around. Ask questions. I'm going to stop the recording, but the stream shall go on. I've got time. I did a lot today. Talked to the estate planner. Talked to the attorney. Talked about a real estate deal. Did some minor trading. And let's stop recording. Talk to you guys and gals later. I love you guys. Again, if you have questions about anything, stop by the Discord room. If you're making money and you're not buying real estate, I'm telling you, interest rates going higher, inflation, the cost to build, they just released the cost to build a single family home in the United States is at an all-time high. It's not going to be cheap. Not going to stay cheap forever. And cheap is relative. Remember, if you bought houses in the 70s and 80s for $150,000, you're probably like, ooh. All right, what do we got? Got 63 views, 24 concurrent viewers, 7 likes, average duration of 16 minutes and 21 seconds. Who's got questions? Here, this is what I'm seeing. Who's got questions? I am Sparta. Yeah, 300. What do y'all got? Is there anyone here? Have I been talking to myself for the last 30 minutes? Oh, man. Hold on. Anybody got any questions? Challenge me to something I might not know. What about the gamma? What about the expected moves? Who cares? What's your highest conviction play right now? It's obviously short tech, but near term, it's absolutely shorting oil. Absolutely. Shorting oil, gas. Look at the, I've just showed you guys the UNG. You got to be kidding me. Getting in an XOP and shorting it. I hate to like be recurring like a robot. If repeating patterns and probabilities are the way to trade, then you need to follow them strictly and stick to them and have stops. Why oil short is better than tech at the moment? I'm talking about like right now. Right now, today I wouldn't short tech at these prices, right? But I will short oil and gas up here. I don't want to short at the lows. People are like, you can't pick tops and bottoms. Not if you're patient. Not if you're impatient, you can't. This looked to me like obvious. Very obvious. Oil. Oh, but this and that. I'm telling you, there's a demand destruction element. Oh, with the SPR. Oh, I'm telling you. Now, again, I'm not saying it's going to dirt. It's just not going to hold up. Nothing is. Winter is coming. Yes, Winterfell. Anyone watch the new King of whatever, Lord of Dragons or whatever, the House of Dragons? Pretty good. It just says winter is coming. Yes, and it's talked about. Well, what if a hurricane comes? I mean, all these things you have to do stops. I'm not telling you that you can't just blindly short this stuff. Yeah, again, this is the thing. SM, thank you for pointing. When the idiots are screaming the loudest and the news is just going bonkers about buying something, you need to be scared out of your freaking mind. Because at the lows, what? Everyone hates it. Don't buy it. Oil and gas are the worst. Remember 2000 when it freaking went negative on the futures and they were paying people to take oil? I think I built an oil pit in my backyard. I'll take pictures of. I'll show you guys on social media swimming in oil. No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, that's literally what they're doing. But now what? Buffett, oil, Europe, gas, winter, hurricanes, everything piled on. And what did natural gas do today? Flat. Oil was up. Yeah, it's cool. XOP up a little bit. Okay. Do y'all not see how like the market maker's liquidity-driven mechanism? They're going, you want to buy oil and gas? Now they're looking like Birdman from the big timers. He's like rubbing his hands like, yeah, yeah, you come on. It's like Buffett. Yeah, come on, buy some Oxy. You want some? This is hilarious. Would you like some Occidental Petroleum calls? You want some Oxy? Like, that's what's going on with the stock. Baba. I mean, aren't they going to get delisted from the United States? This is dead money. Trade the channel, I guess. Dead money. Look, the market makers got covered in Baba, and they've been distributing for months. I don't like Chinese stocks. I'm sorry, I don't have anything against the Chinese people, but the CCP and investing in the country is about as dangerous as you can. You like meme stocks? Well, before meme stocks, there was Chinese stocks. Those were the real blower outers. Yeah, you really want to lose money? Invest in China. Invest in these stocks. Oh, and then they do videos of like what's going on there, and it's like they have like empty buildings, empty warehouses. Like, what's really going on there? Nothing. Now, again, Baba is a real company. No one's going to argue that. But what does it trade at? Anyone want to tell me the valuation? Imagine it's trading at a double-digit PE. Oh, Dan, but it's cheap. China's the future. No, China is not the future anymore. Again, people see like the long-term catalyst. In the 2000s coming out, it was China. What is the future catalyst to grow the market? That's why I think we could be in a winter, a prolonged winter of inflation, where commodities will do great, but everything else will be crap. Do you see why? House prices will go up, but people's wages will stay stagnant. Interest rates will go up, but people's wages will go down in dollar terms, yuan terms. Do you think they're going to have enough money to buy stocks? They're going to be dumping their second houses and vacation homes, and it's going to be glorious because you want that penthouse in Vale? Got you, dog. You want that penthouse on Keystone? Oh, yeah. You want that beachfront property in Malibu? Someone's going to be dumping. Unless it's a primary residence. Baba, Scott, what do you think you got here? You tell me. You're here. You're in the Discord room. What does Baba tell you? Is this a stock you're buying for the long term? Are you convinced that this is going higher? Do you like to trade the one-offs? I think you do. Which again, people are always like, "Oh, you're so mean to people." I'm like, "No, I was once you. I once did that stuff, and guess what? It took me losing a lot of money. My tuition bill for trading, way more than it's probably. Again, if you add up all my swings, it's probably my tuition cost everyone's account balances combined. That's the sad part, man. Any interesting difference between bear market now and the .com era, or the same old tune? Again, tech wreck, commodities. I've said this a million times. That's how we, if you watch my video, Tech War, who wins? Commodities did what in the early 2000s before they went nuts? They based out. They had to come out of the bear market. They already told you selling my. No, not really. People say I look like Sylvester Stallone sometimes. I'm like, oh, I don't know if that's a compliment. He looks kind of like, I can't say it, special. And again, so this is the thing you have to remember, is like all bear markets are different, but the leadership gets crushed, and that's what comes out of it is what? A new bull market. It's not always going to be tech. It's not always going to be commodities. All right. It's just not. That's the reality here, is that if you want to try to create certainty, and this is the hardest part. I mean, I don't know if this is what I will always like. Again, here's the one-off thing. What happens if uranium isn't the future? I always joke about that. Like, what if aliens show up and they show us how to create power? I mean, what if there's a better widget? I mean, that's always so hard with some of these plays. Like, again, that's where, what if peak oil? I just don't know. All right. Jobs, GDP report tomorrow could take air from the oil and materials. I mean, we all know the GDP is what? Decelerating. The reaction is what we don't know. That's what we don't know. So I would say at this point, what is always the play? First, mouse gets the trap. Second gets the cheese. I mean, if that's your trade, that's what it is. My trades are not going to matter. Hopefully, ideally, whatever happens with the GD report, even if the market rallies tomorrow, if you got cash, shout it. Amazon takes higher and report it plans to shut down its telehealth offering, according to Washington Post. Again, I'm always reading the headlines in the background. I have briefing.com. I think I have the platinum version, something like that. It's like $5.40 a year, but man, I get the headlines fed to me. It's really nice. Lyft. I mean, I mean, it's tech. I don't know about shorting down here. Because, I mean, not that I think they could get bought out, but I don't like, I mean, what's your downside to Lyft? Cat wants to get in my lap. Here we are. You tell me, like, does this, like, again, you can only go to 0. You told me up here. And again, it's just hard. It's just really hard. Now, again, you can make 100% if it goes to 0, but this is the thing about Lyft. I mean, it's at the IPO lows. Maybe it finds buyers. Maybe it just only goes to 10. I mean, again, that could be 50% if you went big in it, but if you're buying puts, good luck getting those points. I mean, if you're selling options, you're going to make like pennies. I saw some guy today pumping on his Twitter feed. The key to making money, 20 cents, 21 cents, 22 cents. Yeah, we're making money. He's talking about he's making pennies on his options. And I'm like, I mean, you must be doing thousands of options to think that you're going to get rich. Oh, Pippa. You always think this is funny. She loves sitting in my lap as I'm doing this. You know what, Vitty? Just be careful, man. The hardest part about shorting smaller names after a certain point is what? And maybe you're not familiar with this, but the market makers in the rumor mill just starts going buy out, or it's going to the ground. And now you're playing this game of like, what's real, what's not? You don't know. That is the hardest part. Look at that thing, IPO. That's crazy. I mean, now again, not crazy that an IPO will do that, but this is a big name. Look at this. Destruction. Now, is it the bottom down here? I mean, I would think, it's funny you say this. I'm always looking, I'm like, man, maybe it is a buy at some point, but it wasn't. Maybe it's not. You just got to be careful, please. Short stuff that's going lower that has room. Yes, someone, are you going to go to 0? It's still 100% from 15, but I'm like, yeah, but it came from the 65. Somebody might think it's a value. Maybe Shark Tank Robert Herjavec's like, I'm buying it. I mean, you don't know. What's the market cap on Lyft? I mean, I think, could we pull all our money together and buy it right now? I mean, it's probably gotten absolutely destroyed. That's my biggest concern. We could call it, I don't know. Slift, plift, dlift, drift, maybe dlift. I don't know. The Redux. Not profitable. Again, there's a lot of companies that aren't profitable. Let's always talk about like fundamentals. They don't matter. You're asking an irrational market and irrational people to agree upon a rational number. It's very, very temporary. Very temporary. Any more questions? Because I can wrap this up. Wife is working. I am hanging out. I enjoy talking with you guys and gals because people don't, I mean, I always tell us, like, it's not like I woke up and was smart in trading. I paid a huge tuition bill. 7 figures minimum. So if you want to like learn from me, that's cool. And if you want to make your own mistakes and make it expensive, that's on you too. It's one of those things. I learned this very long time ago. It's cheaper to learn from others' mistakes than your own. But whatever it is. Any more questions? I mean, anybody. I don't care. Ask if you're the only person talking. Well, guess what? Other people are listening. They're going to see this later. They probably might have the same question. Anyone have? I mean, again, I literally don't watch any of the meme stocks. But let's take a guess. AMC. Is it back under 10? Oh, no. No, it better hold. No. Remember, those people are going to get rich. Bed Bath & Beyond. Oh, the guy sells the stock and the company's going to go bankrupt, but we should buy it. Ugh. What's a GameStop? Oh, yeah. People try to convince me to buy GameStop for the long run. I'm like, are you high? What kind of drugs are you on? Because I think I've ever eaten an edible that would just tell me to buy GameStop and hold on to it forever. And that's even like 10 years ago. God, that's ugly. Ugly. All right. Any more questions, boys? It's like, I get older, they stay the same age. You know, from, what movie was that? One of McConaughey's earlier movies. I get older, they stay the same age. Yeah, apes. I mean, where is Apes R Us? I mean, he loves to pump these ape stocks, and I'm going to repeat this for folks who are newer, who are watching this. If you think somehow you're going to take down the system and beat the hedge funds, or as you call it, or the institutions, you are wrong. That's like going to a casino and getting pissed that you lost money at the casino and that all of a sudden we're all gonna go in there and just take all the tokens and walk out of there rich. Let's go rob a casino. No, like that's not how it works, y'all. That just doesn't. Like you have to be smart because the market's gonna take your money at some point. You have to understand you were playing a game that was derived from a casino game, and ultimately the house always wins. It's nothing different. You're gonna get mad when you bet on 10 sports games and you go 0 for 10. Oh, let's get our money back. Oh, let's put it to the man. Let's buy GameStop. No. Let's put it to the man and buy junky real estate in Detroit. Yeah. No. It doesn't work like that. All right, give me one good more question, and then I'll wrap it up. Telling you've got my free, undivided attention. And again, thank you for subscribing. 1,000 subscribers is a big deal. I got an email that I can monetize. I don't really have no clue what I'll make on it, but it just feels good to get paid for doing work. I've done this for free for a lot of y'all, and most of y'all know that at some point we'll be going in the hole. I'll do the daily recaps, but the real knowledge will be very private, and I'll never charge for it. I've told you guys, I don't care. I trade my own knowledge. I don't need you to pay me for it. What I am hoping is that ultimately someone like Shannon or James or Scott, whoever's hanging out with us, you're going to feed me a winner, and then I'm going to pay you. I've said that ultimately, P-Bird, whoever's in here. You learn this stuff. You can teach it. You're smart, and you understand it. You feed me a winner, I will gladly pay for it. That's why I always ask them, like, for donations. I don't require anything. But if I'm handing you winners and you're making, I mean, there's people making hundreds of percent in the last couple months. And they're like, I gladly donate $100. And I'm like, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm trading it too, so I'm not going broke, but I just, effort. You want me to, and I've said this a million times, you come to the Discord room and you donate. Some of y'all donated thousands of dollars, and I appreciate it. And you know what I do to those folks? I will literally drag, kick, punch, pull them to winning. And I follow up with them every day going, are you trading well? What are you doing? Don't mess this up. On the long run, I think uranium shares has to double a lot more. Oh, man. Uranium shares, when they bottom, will probably go up 1,000% minimum. Just like, do you remember the previous bull market in commodities? My good friend Eric, do you? Here were stocks that did the same thing. This is what happens. Momentum goes out of tech. It goes to materials. Whee! Letter steel, US steel. Whee! Trades at a 0 valuation, trades at 100. I do this every video, but whatever. You guys will get it. Rig. Transocean. Whee! Goes up from 17 up to 160. Now it's back in the dirt. Again, I think they're a terrible company because they over leveraged. But do you see how, yes, uranium at some point, rare earth, all this stuff, all commodities. Go to my Twitter page. Here, Jesus, I'll do it right now. I'm going to drop a link. Watch this video. I predicted this in November, and it's not because I'm somehow smart. No, I just know my past. I remember a very fun age of what? The age of what? Commodities. Commodity. Watch this video. Talked about this. Do you trade every day or sometime just take a week off? No, I don't always trade. Remember, I'm probability based. If I don't see a good setup, I don't go, well, I got to go to the casino and lose $100. No. Rare earth metals, inverse head and shoulders pattern forming. Give me a ticker, Jordan. Give me a ticker. I'll pull it up. Again, I remember rare earth metals. I remember Molycorp, MCP, one of the best trades I ever had in my life option-wise. I think I had 100 calls, and the strike was like 25. And if Justin Alexander's on here, both him and I were playing golf. Oh, my God. The stock went like 25 up to 50 in like 2 or 3 days. And we were on a golf trip. Dude, we were drinking and gambling like sailors. One of the biggest trades ever. I mean, like multiple 6 figures in options. Just like, oh, it's just free money. It's like, when do you sell? I'm up at 10,000%. MP. Okay, I'll look that up. Justin, if you're in here, love you, man. Haven't talked to you in a while, but I know you're busy. He's a pit crew chief for NASCAR. Awesome dude. Awesome dude. MP Materials Company. I kind of like it, actually. This is a good one. Thank you. I'll write this one down. MP. Because I like a company that IPOs and doesn't go to Pennyland. Everybody shows me all these old commodity companies in Pennyland. I'm like, I don't like them. They suck. Why do they suck? What is MP Materials? What is it directly? I feel like I've heard of them. This chart looks good. Thank you for Jordan. I mean, this wick down here, this is like where it gets a little confusing. I mean, you could say if it pulls back, it's probably going to be somewhere in the 20s. If this company is strong. Now, again, I don't care about the valuation. I mean, if they're going to be pumping out rare earth metals, inverse head and shoulders, no, I see. I mean, I can see where you're seeing it. It's like here, right shoulder. Wait, I'd be left, Dan. Right shoulder, head. I just see a choppy, sloppy channel. And the easiest trade, honestly, would be when it breaks out of this zone. Yeah, U.S. rare. I mean, yeah. I mean, that's interesting because look at that. Somebody was selling. I mean, they must have had crap earnings and it dropped. Oh, tight candle. Yeah, I mean, I see your head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. But the problem is if you are familiar with head and shoulders patterns, what do you want to see on the right shoulder? What do you want to see on the right shoulder? What do you think, Jordan? Anybody care to throw in a comment? What do you want to see on a right shoulder? What do you want to see in the right shoulder? I'll give it another 2 or 3 seconds. If you don't have a guess, I'm going to answer it in 3, 2, 1. I want to see volume. I want to see just reckless demand like, oh, crap. Yep, there you go, Scott. I want to see people like, oh, my God, it's going to the moon. And again, when I say, oh, my God, not the average person. I'm talking about actual big money. Big money going, oh, crap. Because that's what you'll see. Just like a head and shoulders top. What happens on the right shoulder? Like, bleh, puke. Professional gaps. Just utter chaos. What do you think of 9? I've got $10,000 in that one and a 2. Oh, God. Oh, boy. Penny stock. Pennyland. 9 Energy Service. These are the companies that scare the crap out of me if there's a recession or just demand destruction because they can get literally... If I was lending this company money, oh, God, I would short their stock as a hedge. I would absolutely short their stock as a hedge. I've told people that's what they do. People don't realize they sell companies when they need money with high inflation or high interest rates. In the company suspect, the best thing for the institution as they underwrite their debt is to short the absolute crap out of the stock as a hedge. I don't know, man. 9 Energy Service. I mean, is this even a real company? I thought this was like a gene company or teenage company. They teen clothing. That's tough, man. Because do you know what this is? It's called a pump and dump. Everybody talks about it, then it floats around on the internet, and everyone gets excited about it, and everyone thinks it's great. Pumps, then it dumps, and now it's coming back. The only thing I can say going for it, Scotty boy, is it seems to be holding the gap at 2. So I can see your cost base is 220. I mean, you can't go broke with profits. I see if you got 10 grand into it, so you got like 5,000 shares. I mean, if you're willing to lose 10 grand or set a stop, this is what I don't think people realize is like when the tide goes out and the liquidity comes out, companies like this all of a sudden can't borrow. All of a sudden, if they're leveraged to the hilt in debt, start having problems. That's the thing. Again, that's why these penny stocks, I hate them. Hate is a strong word, and I don't hate anything other than penny stocks. Literally, I hate penny stocks. I've seen more money lost in penny stocks because name one that turns into a company in the S&P 500. None. They don't ever turn into the big winners. Now, some of them too, they come get bought out. But again, remember how we talk about probability based? Why would you go digging through the trash looking for lottery tickets? That's what people always do, and it's like, oh, I hope it. And again, this is what's great. You get this pumps and dumps, and everyone gets excited, and then it goes nowhere. It's interesting. Again, I mean, if you're willing to take a flyer on it, you're clearly winning. So, my opinion doesn't matter. It seems to be holding the 200-day. Can we just call that is? If it breaks the 200-day, you got problems. But I'm just scared. I'm scared for you. I'm absolutely scared for you because what happens if liquidity crunch? I mean, I don't know what their balance sheet looks like. I bet their balance sheet is puke. Here, let me just look. Let me just pull. I'll show you how I look up finance stuff real quick. Let's go to Yahoo Finance. And I look at what? I'll show you how I read a generic, very quick balance sheet. And one of the first things I always look at is what? Debt. How much debt do they have? Because it costs money to service debt, right? Like that's a never... I don't want a gift. I want to... All right. So you go to what is it, statistics. Sometimes this changes. So the market cap, small. Price of sales, pretty cheap. Return on assets, a joke. Revenue, not bad. Revenue growth, accelerating. Diluted earnings per share, yikes. Problem. Here's your problem. 22 million in cash, 38 million in debt. Do you see the problem here? Operating cash flow, they are burning cash and they have huge debt. Do we know the interest rate? No. That is a problem. Think of that as just like, that's me with, oh man. I mean, imagine if I make 100,000 a year, but I got I got like $1.8 million in debt. You might be like, ooh, that's a little bit of a struggle. Because what if the guy loses his job or something goes wrong? Where's he going to do how's he going to service that debt? You see this, Scott? This is how I look at it. I do it real simple. Now, let's see the short. It's pretty high. 11%. Held by institutions. Looks all right. Whatever. The small float, which is good if you want to see the company do well. This is a problem. Do you see that? And the problem is, again, I mean, if they're not making money right now, when are they going to, you know what I mean? Do you see what happens if oil goes down temporarily? Scott, is anyone here? Am I by myself? No, do you see this? This is a problem. I hate companies like this because I know what happens. Do you want to know how they raise cash? Do you know how they'll raise cash? I think we all know. They call up Jerome Powell and they go, can we borrow your money printer? We got to print shares. Yeah, dilution. That's why I stay away from these companies. That's why I stay away from these companies. Remember I was talking about Transocean? Look at this, man. This is just such a sad thing because this company levered up during oil. That's not what I looked at, but okay. How bad are they in the hole? Profit margin. Ugh. Revenue. So they have decent revenues, right? But it doesn't come down to the bottom line. Here you go. $7 billion in debt and 29 million. So their total debt to equity. Ugh. That's the problem here with these companies. I don't want companies that need to dilute, and I don't want companies drowning in debt. Yeah, but the price to book is irrelevant when you start looking at their debt. Right? Like they can't make money right now. They have to resolve this. Again, I don't give a crap about the price to book. Again, this is all just how you value a company. Well, if you're valuing me as a person, don't you look at how much cash I make, how much I have in the bank, and how much debt I have? Like sometimes it's really that simple. Again, look at this. Ooh, market cap's cheap. Price to book is cheap. Ooh, price to sales less than 1. Ooh. Wrong. Oh, speaking of BTU, I mean, they went out of business. If I remember right, all those coal names. And then they came out. I would love to see Transocean default on their debt and the company go bust. Then we can talk about it. Because then they won't have any debt. Yeah, here you go. BTU. Peabody Energy. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Did they not go out of business? I mean, I traded coal names in the 2000s. Did they not go out of business and file bankruptcy? T-Van, can you confirm that? I have not watched coal in so long. How the hell are these companies not making money at $190? Exactly. You tell me. There's a reason why they trade at $3 or $2, Scott. Don't think you're somehow smart. And I mean you, me, anybody. Oh, look at the cheap stock price. If it was really cheap, somebody would be buying the shit out of it. Excuse my language, YouTube. They would be buying it. BTU, I'm pretty sure, went out of business. Now they're back to even with their cash to debt. Yeah, I mean, again, is coal the future? I don't probably know. Give me another name. Let's do this. Do you see how, again, I don't care about the price of sales, the price to book. I got to look at what's their feasibility of what happens when what hits the fan. Well, if you got that much cash, they're good. That much debt, right? I mean, I've got way more debt than cash. I tell you that for sure. I've got way more debt, but it's in assets, right? That are paying me cash. Marathon Digital. What is Marathon Digital? That's a problem. That's a problem. Here's their revenue. And it does not, does not translate to the bottom line. Here's their operating cash flow. This is all problems. Oh, what's it trading at? Oh, price to book 2.5. Problems. Problems, problems, problems. Think about it. If this was take the name away and pretend this is a person, and they go, well, I know this guy. Yeah, he's got like 80 million in the bank and 700 million debt, and he doesn't make money at work. He goes to work and he loses 200. Yeah, he's losing money. It doesn't matter. He's losing money every month. That's dangerous. That's dangerous. Now, again, this is the hardest part, right, about cheap stocks and getting bought out is if you're ExxonMobil, and this is what I always tell people, you don't realize this. The big names, they know something. They know. They might be sitting on a great asset, but they know they're managing it like crap. Think of it like real estate or like a business. It's a great pizza joint in the middle of downtown near the college scene, and they open till 2 in the morning, and that place mints money. But their balance sheet's junk, and they've leveraged to the hilts, and they go out of business. Someone will snap that up in a second when they go on sale, and they will not pay a premium. Because why? They got to pay back the debt. They're going to offer to pay off the debt. Do y'all see that, how that works? I have a finance degree. Very useless, but it makes sense when I try to explain this stuff to people. Kresdy? Is that something a pair? I don't want to look at a currency. No. Is this helping though? See why I stay away from stocks that have problems? So, I mean, let's look at CCJ. I haven't looked at this in forever. Not cheap. Wow, look at that awesome profit margin. Okay, cash, not bad. Debt's okay. Return on assets. Garbage. So what do they need to do better? They need uranium prices to go to the moon, right? Return on assets, profit margins, that's just crap, man. That's just not good. Let's look at CF, because that thing has been acting like great. They must have something going on here. Oh, well, look at that. Well, I guess it doesn't matter if you have that much debt when you have this kind of return on your profitability. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Scott. The dilution is the problem. You don't know what the shares outstanding was in the past for any company, right? Does that make sense? And this is where I laugh because somebody was telling me, "Oh, look, you got to buy, U.S. Steel. It's a buy," and I'm like, "Oh, but look at the price to book, price to sales, all dirt cheap, market cap $5 billion. I get it, decent numbers, right?" They still got a little bit of debt and a little bit of revenue. But guess what happens if steel prices go to the moon? This company can leverage up because why? They got cash. They got profit margins. These companies in the penny stocks, guess what? When oil goes higher, how are they going to lever up? They're going to have to borrow more money or dilute the stock. It is the freaking cycle of death. You ever watch Shark Tank and they're like, Kevin O'Leary's like, "Hey, that was a great idea. Take that dog behind the barn and shoot it." Which is a terrible description of it. That's the reality of it. Take it to the barn. Because they're not going to be able to get out of that trap. They have to default on their debt. Oh, God. Profit margin of 9. I can't count that high. Help. I mean, the best thing they got going for them is they have very little debt. I'll give them that. Golf clap. They clearly have assets, probably, but is this company, did they actually even sell anything yet? Because here becomes the big problem with you. If they are sitting on assets and it's not like flowing, how are they going to develop it? How are they going to develop and produce this product that everyone wants? Yeah, I don't know, man. These companies are just so hard to value. Now, again, valuations, they don't matter, right? If they can all of a sudden the prices of uranium, plutonium, whatever they're using, whatever they're digging in, goes higher, then yes, this will get better. But the problem is with these penny stocks, I'm beating the table. Don't roll the dice. Hear the dice rolling? Can y'all hear that? That's the dice rolling. The problem with these stocks is, guess what? They might have to invest tons of money to dig it out. But this is why I don't mind taking a flyer on the juniors, because I guarantee all of them look the same in the gold and silver. Somebody needs to know how to operate to get this stuff out of the ground. If they have the assets, you'll see it in the stock. Let's pull it up. I'm curious, because I see this ticker every day and I'm like, yeah. Ugly. Reverse split, 1 for 50. Oh, good God. Do they have assets? I don't know, man. Arch Cold. That's another one that went out of business, if I remember right. Yep. Now it's called Arch Resources. Look up Arch Coal. I think the ticker used to be ACH. You can't look up the ticker. It's gone. All these coal names. I still remember that one. Oof, man, those things used to be fly. Let's look up at ARCH. This is funny. Arch Resources. Man, I'm like blast from the past. Decent profit margins. Their revenue's growing. That's good. Cash to debt's very reasonable. Operating cash flow. Again, it's the stock. They don't need to dilute shares, but here becomes the ultimate thing, though. Would they dilute shares? Where's that cash? And they're just going to have to load debt. This is the problem until it's not a problem. I don't know. I'm not the master of balance sheets, and I'm not going to tell you I can predict anything from this for sure, because you're going to see exceptions all the time, because you could go up to 100 if they're sitting on the goods. Or it could go back to 0 area and reverse split if they're not. I hope this helps, because again, I don't think people realize, like, think of like any stock like a person. If I told you I had 200 million in revenue or in cash and 200 million in debt, but I own some great assets, you're probably not too worried about lending me money. But if interest rates go higher, guess what? It ain't going to be cheap. You see how when interest rates go higher, it doesn't help the borrowers. Do y'all see that? It helps the people with cash or who can get cheap loans. One last question, because these are good. This is stuff that nobody knows. Nobody talks about. Nobody's on. You ever seen Kramer go, let me check. Well, maybe he used to actually, but price to book, price to sales, all this crap doesn't matter. Think of it as an investment in what they got in the bank, how much debt they got, and what do they got? Can they make money? If they can't make money, well, guess what? Then they got problems. 99 problems. Any last questions? And I'll wrap it up. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Again, I'm clearly lonely. Wife is working, and I got all my work done. So I enjoy teaching this stuff, because this stuff is hard. I've been confused and stupid for many years. It was one of those things. Even as a broker, dude, they don't teach you anything. You can go on Fast Money and pretend you know something. How about that? No more questions? None? Done? Finado? Terminado? We good? This is the problem here. If you see this, these wicks, somebody's distributing up here. Again, I'm not saying for sure. That just doesn't look right. You clearly have a ceiling. Somebody is not interested in the stock going any higher. Man, that's not good. Interesting. Blow off, chop. I'm just telling you right now, it could go higher. But also, too, like, if it can't get over those levels, no. Yes, winter is coming. The White Walkers are coming. Yes, we know. The Song of Fire and Ice. Yes, I get it. Europe's winter. But keep in mind, like, if the market and the economy goes into a full-on recession, depression, yes, this stuff will go higher long term, but near term it will get slammed. Because, again, it will price in what? Demand destruction. When you, me, and everybody who believes these theses is puke, that's when the big dogs will do what? They'll come in and they will support the crap out of it. I hope you understand that. All right. I don't think I ate breakfast or lunch. That's probably a problem. Talk to you guys and guys later. I appreciate y'all. Please be safe out there. Ask questions, but also do your homework. Please do your homework. If you're just following people blindly on stock twits, fin twits, dumb twits, twit, you are, I mean, it's the blind leading the blind out there. I'm just telling y'all. I mean, I know for a fact. It is the blind leading the blind. Peace out. See you, Scott.